When it comes to the subject of monkey mind, it reminds me of a hilarious, insightful story, and it is worth sharing. In India, there is one famous cap, and it is called the Gandhi cap. This cap was invented during the 1930s. It was a declaration of freedom fight against the Britishers. And since it was introduced during the non-violence movement initiated by Mahatma Gandhi, the cap was called Gandhi cap. And a Gandhi cap is always white in color. The white color is its trademark. Mahatma Gandhi rarely donned this Gandhi cap. You may hardly find a photo of the Mahatma wearing the Gandhi cap. But still, the cap became a brand of the Indian freedom fight. It became a very popular cap amongst the followers of Mahatma Gandhi. A Gandhian cap is the easiest cap to make. Within few minutes you can tailor make a Gandhi cap. When there are no elections or anti-establishment movements, you can use the cap to carry some fresh vegetables in it, or some medicines in it, or just anything under the sky. It is a multi-purpose cap. You can use it as a cap during elections, and then you can use the same cap as a safe wallet during the spare time. And it became very popular cap in India, so much so that for every election people would buy these caps and don it on their heads, so that they too become a Gandhi. And these Gandhi caps were sold mostly during the election times in India. When there is an election, everybody is a Gandhian. Once the election is over, people forget all about Gandhi. So Gandhi caps are in great demand, and an old man was doing great business. He was rushing from one town to another selling Gandhian caps. One day, he was coming home from another nearby town. He was tired. The business had been really great. He had sold almost 1,000 caps. Just 56 caps were left in his bag, and he was tired. On his way, there was a huge banyan tree, and it was so welcoming. It had the perfect shadow to comfort a traveler. And so the old man stopped and took some rest underneath the tree. He fell asleep. When he woke up, he saw that his bag of Gandhi caps was empty. He looked up and he saw that there were many monkeys on the tree, and they all had stolen his Gandhi caps, and they all were looking Gandhians because they all had donned his Gandhi caps. Every monkey had the Gandhi cap on his head, and they all were looking Gandhis. He felt as if the whole party of Gandhis is on his head, smiling, teasing, and donning the Gandhi cap. It was fun for the monkeys, and the man also enjoyed. But then he thought, all 50 caps are gone. What to do now? How to get these 50 caps back? Then he remembered that monkeys are imitators. Only one cap was left on his head, so he shouted, "Abracadabra," just to catch the attention of the monkeys. And they all looked at what was going on. Then the old man threw away his cap on the ground. The moment he threw away his cap, all the monkeys threw away their caps. They are imitators. He collected the caps, laughed loudly, and came home. The next day, he had a severe fever. And so he called his young son and said, "Today you go out to sell the caps. But remember, on your way back, you will come across a huge banyan tree. You can take some rest underneath that tree. But be careful. The tree has many monkeys." And he told him the whole story of how he tricked the monkeys. He said, "If the same thing happens with you, then the monkey steals the caps. Do this. First shout out, 'Abracadabra,' and then throw away your cap, and you will get all your caps back. In case something like this happens, I have already alerted you. Just be safe." So the son set out. It was a sunny day and he was able to sell a good amount of caps. Only some 30 caps remained. On his way back, like his father had told him, he saw the huge banyan tree. And since that was the only tree in that whole locality and he was tired, he took rest underneath that banyan tree. When he was asleep, all the monkeys came and took away the caps. When he woke up, he looked at his bag and found that the caps were stolen. He knew who the culprit was. He looked up and he could see the monkeys donning the Gandhi cap. And it was truly an experience looking at the swinging, dancing monkeys with caps on their head. It was fun. They all looked Gandhians. The young man remembered the trick that his father had shared with him. He shouted out, "Abracadabra," and the monkeys became angry. He shouted again, "Abracadabra," and the monkeys became angrier, and the young man threw away the only cap that he had on his head, and then he looked up to see if the monkeys imitate. But this time something else happened. Instead of imitating him, one monkey came down and took away the cap that he had thrown away. Even that last cap was gone. What went wrong? He had followed exactly what his father had advised him. He started wondering, and he wondered, and he wondered, but he couldn't find an answer. What was the secret? The secret was that, like his father, the monkeys were also alarmed by their fathers. They were advised against repeating the mistake of imitating and thereby losing the Gandhi caps. Man is slow to learn than the monkeys, and who would disagree with this fact, especially after listening to this wonderful and insightful story? And that is how you continue to commit the same mistake again and again and again, because unless you come out of the darkness of ignorance, you are going to commit the same mistakes again and again and again. Mistakes happen when you are not living with your life with awareness. The mind is habitual because the mind is mechanical. Whatever you feed the mind, whatever you train the mind operates like a robot. Being unaware is like driving the mind in total darkness. And so mistakes are bound to happen again and again and again. Remember, life repeats itself mindlessly. Unless you become mindful, it will go on repeating like a wheel. Committing a mistake is not a crime, but committing the same mistake again and again and again is a clear indication that you are totally ignorant, so much so that you haven't learned anything from the mistakes you have committed so far. But how learning happens? Learning happens only through awareness, self-awareness. The monkeys committed a mistake of imitating the old man, and in that they lost what they had gained. But those monkeys were not common monkeys, certainly not, else they have had committed the same mistake of imitating when the old man's son had attempted to trick them. These monkeys were wise monkeys. Wise people commit mistakes and idiots also commit mistakes. The difference is the wise never commit the mistake twice. That's the only difference. Why people commit mistakes? Because they don't learn from their first mistake. Then they do the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, the sixth, and that is how, until the web of ignorance is not broken, until people don't become self-aware, until there is no awareness, people go on repeating the same mistakes again and again and again, repeating them their whole lives. They move in a circle, and that is what in Hindu religion this material world is called sansar. Sansar means the wheel. You simply repeat the same mistakes again and again and again. Situations may differ, but the pattern of your mistake remains the same and of the same quality. So, it is necessary that you all focus on not reacting. Most of our time is spent on social media, and on social media there are all kinds of people from all over the world. Every person reacts based on his or her level of understanding. Some may appreciate you, some may ridicule you. However, you don't have to react to negative, offensive people. You just need to take assertive action by blocking them instantly. Focus on action and stop making noise. When you react, you are noisy. When you act, you are silent. Silent action is what should be your motto during this Mars transit period. Many a times we all commit mistake. We don't learn from our mistakes. We are slow to learn from our mistakes than those smart monkeys, wise monkeys. But astrology comes to our rescue, making us aware of our shortcomings and thereby preventing us from committing the same mistake again and again. The circle of life or sansar is a circle of repetitive mistakes. If you want to come out of this unending circle of miseries, sansar, then the only way is to control your mind and slowly overcome the mind by doing daily meditation and daily chanting. Always remember, life's biggest problem are always solved by the most simplest and smallest key, and that key is mantra chanting. That key is doing daily meditations, and it costs nothing. The kingdom of God has no tickets. You all have got a free pass. The irony is that most of you don't use it and instead waste your life in spending heavily on all kinds of magics and tantras.